Hey, what's up, people? How's it going? All right, today we're going to talk about a few things. They come up in our lives a lot, pretty much about the graffiti culture and yeah, a couple other things. I also want to say that the drawing that I was doing. Let me see if it's held up right. Yeah, see this thing? I put it on my Patreon, and someone had won it pretty fast. It's actually the same person that won last time. That's how few amount of Patreon subscribers I have. You guys got to get quick, man. This guy, I'm gonna have to start telling him, to give people a chance. And who say whoever says I'll take it first, or I want it, or yeah, I'll take that, or wow, gee, that'd be nice, thank you, or whatever, however you want to word it, I'll mail it out to you for free of charge to you if you're on my Patreon. Like I said, this is it here. And there's some guy won it, same guy that won last time. I'm wondering if there's some kind of way where he's able to outbid other people. Like it's not even a bidding situation, 'cause it's the first person that clicked on it. So I'm a little tricky on that. Maybe you guys could come up with comments on another way I can do this on my Patreon. I mean, I've been giving stuff away like crazy, and it's just this particular time, it's the same person that won twice. You guys are gonna start thinking it's rigged or something like that. Like, but I just draw this thing. I don't care. I could draw another one tomorrow. It's no big thing to me. It's just people were saying on my live, we were talking about characters I've done or something like that. I was like, I painted them all. And someone had mentioned Baudet, and I'm like, holy shit! Like I didn't even think as a graffiti writer that I would have painted a Baudet at least once or drew one in my life. I never did. I don't know. It was too cliche. It was too graffiti-ish, I guess, would be the term. So here is where the hell am I putting that? Yeah, here it is. There's my Baudet. It's the first time I ever drew one. For real, that I could think of. That's the first time I ever drew one. I'm thinking maybe in high school or something like that. I might have been fucking around or something like that. But yeah, other than that, nah, never did Baudets. Not that I don't like them. I had the son, Mark Baudet, do one of my son's book. That's when I met not Zephyr, Revolt. Yeah, you want to fight him? I'll get into that one day. Like for real, he was like, yo, yeah, he was ready to go for it. He was all man at this point too, all hunched over and skinny and shit with a little belly. Yeah, wild as shit. Give him props for that. But yeah. All right. Now let's get into this whole culture thing. And I'm gonna be truthful with you. I don't think you guys know your ass from your elbow. I'm just gonna put that out there. Like, what culture are you talking about when it comes to graffiti? Like, a few people say, I've been getting hit with a little bit of this culture vulture. Something almost like because I'm a white boy or something like that. I shouldn't be doing graffiti. But if you really look at or yeah, like misappropriating a culture or something like that. But I don't get the whole culture part of it that you're talking about. I don't do that. I'm over here. You get me? I don't, that was never me. And that is a culture that was created pretty much from what I could see by clothing designer people, fancy, catchy, glittery things for like MTV, stuff like that. Uh, They have videos playing with graffiti in the background on walls and being in neighborhoods, handball courts and stuff like that. Um, yeah, early on, yeah, it was actually something that wasn't really accepted amongst society. So, like the graffiti culture that you're talking about is just something that's grabbed up from what you read and what you see and what is told to you by graffiti writers that really kind of failed in that field of actually doing graffiti, and they've decided to write about it. Just like all the wars out there, the people that are stay home and don't fight the wars, and stay home and fuck all the women, people under the men that do fucking fight the wars, same thing. And then they'll write books about it. Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much the way it is. It's like yeah, like the thing that I see, it's like the graffiti that's exposed to you guys, like the whole gallery scene and all that. To you guys, that's the culture. You following me? It's like that thing that you guys consider the culture is not what I consider graffiti. Yeah, I guess that's probably the best way to explain it. It's almost like someone that I look highly up to, as I've explained in my past live. Think of someone that I think is an amazing graffiti writer, like the true epiphany of a graffiti writer, or whatever you want to call the word. Like Vinny. I use that as an example. Vinny, 3YB. That's a graffiti writer. Fucking innovator, like a creator, like a bomber. He was like someone that people would look up to that are actually graffiti writers. Whereas it's a gallery owner or a gallery show or something like that, unless it's like an old timers day or something like that, they wouldn't even look at Vicky. No, 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 no. And they would grab something like Spot, KMS, like something that's real pretty graffiti, but has no real history behind it. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas me, I'd be like, oh shit, that's Vinny, 3YB. That right there's the shit. I did this on my live, and it's a little better for me to explain it now after going back and forth. And it's no wrong answer or right answer. It's just what people prefer. Like if you're like a historian of it and the whole like creation of graffiti or something, and you would be more interested in things that actually laid down foundations and bricks of it. Whereas if you're a gallery owner, you're just caring about someone that is easy to get along with, is negotiable, and could do art and could pretty much handle a conversation in a crowd and sell art. And it has to be pretty attractive art, something that is tangible, that you could liquidate, you could sell. Pretty much what it boils down to, and that is the stuff that is pushed that way. But when it comes to criminals that were out there writing graffiti, that's the shit you don't hear about. And that's pretty much what I'm over here talking about. When I come on here and I'm talking about the graffiti and the criminals that wrote graffiti, and I'm mentioning people, me brethren, my people, the people that I was involved with, the people I saw up, other street kids, that's like that whole thing. So let me go this way, all right? And you guys just stay over there. Stay the fuck out my shit because you're talking about something totally different. You're talking about something that was like created by Levi's jeans or some shit or Calvin Klein. Shit. Like that, like a whole marketing creation. It really is. I mean, and even like with the whole street art, the whole thing was just people became street artists with the thought in their mind before even committing an illegal act, if they ever even do, with the thought in their mind, I'm going to make money off this shit. Yeah, they go to like advertisement school, art school for advertisement, computer graphics, stuff like this. A lot of these people have degrees in illustration, shit like that. And they use those skills in marketing and stuff like that, which is not stupid. I am not knocking. I'm just saying, put it in the motherfucking box it fits in. Don't go putting that shit over here in my box. I ain't got nothing to do with that shit. I used to rob them motherfuckers. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where the lines get a little crossed. And that's what I'm trying to say. And that's where the problem comes in here with you guys. I sit here and I talk about dudes that, like Lee 3, you fucking Rook we go into and stuff like that. Dudes that were really out there mopping shit the fuck down, like a Renegade, Renard. Yeah, all that shit. Like, yeah, dudes that were really out there bombing, tearing shit up. And those are the motherfuckers who are out there. And I don't know if that's part of your culture because your guys are just talking about pretty much sipping champagne with your pinky out, eating little pieces of cheese and looking at canvases on fucking walls with like fucking expensive pocketbooks with a lot of money in it. Or nowadays, like one little credit card, however, zip phone shit, or however the payments are. That is pretty much graffiti and the culture that I see people defending. Because when I go on here, like you want to start talking about rules and culture and stuff, I go on here, I really am the motherfucker that played it straight fair. Didn't tell on no one, stayed in my own business, just kept writing it, writing it, writing. I got old and wrinkly, I kept fucking writing it, writing it, writing it. I get arrested. So I really played it the right way. And the culture somehow it's upsetting me. Yeah, oh no, there's that. And it's like, yo, there's enough room for everyone. You get me? Like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you see, I don't even have to say nothing. I could pretty much just shut up and never come on here and drop dead. And people still really go, that dude on me, man, that motherfucker went off. Yeah, it's true. But I see it happening even in other writers' accents that we'll call, where people start connecting themselves to these people. Lace, for instance. Lace, no one hears from him. He don't go on a computer or nothing like that. Actually, literally, no one hears from him now. We don't know where he is. If anyone knows, tell him we're looking for him. But in any event, you have this guy, Lace 357, used to write ESP. He's been in the game since the 70s. Done some of the nastiest fly fucking whole cars out back in the days, straight on through the whole area he was in. So you got this guy, Hang Ten. I think he used to write REM 13 back then, REM. Then later on, Hang 10, and now he goes by the Hangman. Dresses with that steampunk hat. Like he's fucking Johnny Depp or some shit. Anyway, that guy starts acting like, yeah, Lace. I learned from Lace. He took me under my wing at a young age. He did this and he did that. Because no one really speaks about Lace. But people respect the streets. You get me? Like the name is out there. So now I'm watching this shit. I got Lace sitting right, not now, but when I'm watching this thing, on Instagram and everything, I'm reading it through. He's like, Lace is like, I don't know that dude. I never met him. And I was like, behind the stop, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I started telling him who he hangs out with. I said, I think he's associated with like Bind. And he said, oh, yeah, yeah. Yo, when I fought Bind, I beat him Bind. That guy was there. He was trying to climb over the fence. And he said he grabbed him or something like that. He said, hey, don't go nowhere or something like that. The guy climbed back down. He was afraid he was going to go tell the cops or something because Bind's nose was bleeding or something like that. He's like, other than that, I never met the man again. I don't know the dude. So, yeah, here this guy is building a whole lifelong fantasy with this dude that Lace never even met, like, other than in a couple of minutes. And for that, it was even on a bad turn, you know? Like, Lace was actually trying to stop him from running away. And it's funny, it does, with situations like that, kind of brings you to, think 10, 20 years go by, 30 years go by, they could start changing people's stories in life. Yeah, it happens all the time. Like I've explained in my past on my live. Some people that didn't do really anything are mentioned and then mentioned again. They put one picture on or something like that, and then they say, I am the best, I am the greatest, this and that. And 10, 20 years later, people are like, oh, that dude's the best and the greatest. And meanwhile, you person that lived through the situation and saw everything's like, I never even heard of that dude. So yeah, that's pretty much how it happens. And like it goes with these art galleries, they don't give a fuck if you were out there robbing and stealing and getting stabbed up and king of like fucking schemes mother says king of that yakety yak line or this line or that line. They just want to know if they can flip the shit for more money. That's pretty much it. So someone like me, when it comes to the graffiti culture, I respect people like men, RTW. You got me? Like dudes that were really out there doing their fucking thing, writing a lot of fucking graffiti. You got so many people like that. Is the Wiz, they didn't make much money off the whole fucking graffiti thing. Look at Tracy 168, another perfect example. They never make much. I mean, not as much as they should be. I mean, that motherfucker should be getting bad ski money. Who else you got out there? You got so many different people. T Kid, he deserves it, man. I don't know what he's making, but he's someone that deserves it. Yeah, something like that I could totally understand. But when you got some dude that's running out drawing monopoly characters or something like that, just putting it on there, or some graffiti writer that's just doing like bubble letters from like the 70s or something like that, and he's trying to act like he's from there, but yet that would make him like 2.5 years old or something. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you do the math on some of these dudes, man. Yeah, I've been out there, man. I've been the longest motherfucker out in the cold. Believe me, I know. I know who's fraud and who's not. And it just, yeah, it's funny how this whole culture thing, and I'm like, if anything, I'm like the most beneficial motherfucker that's only been fighting for the fucking culture. Who wasn't even known about it because it wasn't even a culture back then. Like, yeah, I'm the only motherfucker that's trying to keep the shit real. They kept it real the whole fucking time. You never see me take no wooden fucking nickel. And I'll tell you something else. You guys know where I live, right? One of the richest neighborhoods here, Upper East Side, Yorkville. One is in Yorkville. One is in Manhattan. This is like the capital of the fucking art gallery industry. Sotheby's, 5 blocks from my house. Sotheby's, 5 blocks from my house. Doyle Gallery, or fucking Christie's, all these galleries, all right here within my range. I grew up in this neighborhood. I know a lot of different fucking people. I just didn't think that that would fit me as far as it goes. In other words, I've been offered situations early on in life with this graffiti game. When that point in life, if you were selling your art or graffiti in a gallery, you're considered a sellout. That's what you were considered, a sellout. Oh, he's a sellout because he's selling his art in a gallery. This is a true fucking story. You can ask people from my era. You would be considered a sellout if you're out there making money off your art. So I've had some serious opportunities land in my lap, like before a lot of these fucking people. I just was like, nah, I'm cool. I'm a writer. You know, fuck that. Because I've never been arrested. You get me? So I'm still out there. I don't want to go. It was more important for me to stay anonymous and write graffiti than it was for me to come out, say I'm RD and make money off it. And that's even like before the iron was hot. Yeah, that's way back. Like I said, I'm right here. Like all these people I know, I grew up in this neighborhood. You know, I know a lot of people are from this fucking neighborhood. All these people, like I've explained before, one of my best friends, close friends will say, became a judge downtown. Yeah, just became a judge. It's yeah, so many different fucking people that grew up in this neighborhood have become influential people in society. They're my age now. They're all like retiring. They got children, houses in the Hamptons and shit like that, or Westchester or something like that. Yeah. So the opportunities have always been there. I just said, nah, it was kind of more important to me. But then again, I was never suffering. I always had a 9 to 5 job, and you know what I'm saying? And even when I was married, like I would be a crook to the point I got married, and I stopped all that crazy shit. And I really stopped it all. I just kept stealing from comic book conventions, like once or twice a month or something like that, and it would be enough to pay me for everything. You know, little college fees, food, stuff like that. You know, rent, whatnot. Yeah. So I would actually stay afloat like that, and then I started working for the Department of Health, and really haven't done nothing bad after that. I really didn't have to steal or anything. Yeah. I've been living a good, comfortable life. But to sit and talk about the old days and how we were criminals that wrote graffiti, it's important to me to let you guys know the difference. You follow me? It's almost like you have the I guess it would all you could almost use it like in the film industry. You have like the Hollywood blockbuster movies, and then you have like the underground films, like the underground film festival. What do they call it? Indies, right? You have like the indies and shit like that. And yeah, it's almost like what you're looking at is like the blockbuster theater shit, like the stuff with all the sprinkles and the mirrors and the lies and shit like that. And you really had dudes that were just out there like putting their name in, and they we weren't doing it for the public. Like all these thoughts on great futures didn't exist. Like the idea of a computer being like what talking to you on right now, this laptop. Like someone would think you're nuts if you said something like that back then. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, for real. But no one had an idea how this world was coming. And to be truthful, I didn't even think about a future. I never even thought about a future until I was fucking married. And my wife's father, which would make me my father-in-law, said to me, "What are you going to do to support my wife? I mean, my daughter, your wife. What are you going to do? I don't understand how your income works." Or something to that effect. I mean, this guy was actually a doctor in Guyana, South America. Came into this country, went all back to school and everything again, but did it again. So, you know, he was a very educated man. And, you know, he said, well, I said, I haven't thought about that. So you might want to look into that, you know. So one day, you know, I started saying, yeah, that sounds good. I started getting little college credits and stuff like that. And I took a non certificated program in phlebotomy, drawing blood from people and shit like that, you know. But yeah, and from that point forward, I realized, I'm not a child no more, and I kind of just adapted to it. So you're going back, God knows how long, what I'm saying? But yeah, no one could ever say nothing bad about me in the graffiti business or the streets, to be truthful. Yeah. And I really did play it fair, and I just see all these dudes that were fraudulent that weren't there or didn't play fair, and like in other words, they cold on people or different little situations, left people out there, different, well, however you want to look at it. And those are the people that is the culture. So, like, if that's the culture, you're right. I don't want to be a part of it. I'm over here, yeah. I'm over here with my peeps. You know what I mean? Yeah, right over here. That's where we are. And yeah, this fucking year is really wrapping up, man. What do we got? A couple weeks left. I just now I left my house. That's why this might drop a little late. NYC Crime Spot. Yeah, he's doing a part two with me. So that'll probably be up sometime soon. You keep your eye out for it. He's got a good site there. He does a lot of the criminal stuff, a lot of Roy DeMeo and all that. Yeah, he's got a lot of good stories on there. Check him out, NYC Crime Spots. I'm gonna be, actually I'll be wearing the same shirt in the video. As he left, and I figured let me go on and drop my video here. What else was there? Yeah, we talked about the Patreon thing, right? Talked about culture vultures, and all that shit, and graffiti writers. Yeah, that's it, man. Take care of yourselves, people. Remember, check out my Patreon in the description below. You can win free art from me. Like this. Why the fuck thing? I don't know why I'm ripping the thing in half. So, yeah, look. The same guy won this. Just won my last one that I gave away too. It was like a sticker pack or something. Yeah, all hand drawn by me. It was a pencil. All right, guys, have a good one, man. Check out my Patreon. Hey, what's up? I forgot. I watched the video. I realized I left out the whole part about the legal walls, the murals that are going on out there. Well, keep the graffiti culture alive. Keep the graffiti culture alive. With all the legal murals. I don't hear much about it nowadays with the pandemic and all. But yeah, that was a big thing, the Coney Island walls and this and that. And I think that that is cool if it's kept for, like how I explained the Hall of Fame. If it's kept for real dudes who are out there putting it in, if you're going to call it graffiti, you know what I mean? Unless it's like a street art type thing, it's something that I can understand and mixing it up a little. But yeah, like the Hall of Fame. I believe that should be like dudes that were tearing up the subways, doing nice pieces and shit. Like when that Hall of Fame idea was created, the Stingray and all them Dez and shit like that. I believe that that should really be like all the old school dudes, like an old timers day. That's what I think should happen up there in the Hall of Fame. They do have old timers days up in the Bronx and stuff that are nice. I went to them a few times, met some old school dudes and shit like that. Yeah, those are cool. I enjoy those. And it's like for instance, the graffiti art that is popular, it's pretty much just murals that are done legally, and graffiti that is sold in art galleries. I'm not gonna say I never did an art show. Last summer I was out in the Hamptons. I had my solo show out in the Hamptons. But after I got arrested, now everyone knows who I am. I'm an old man, so yeah, an art show. It was good. But when it comes to murals, I still don't feel comfortable doing a legal mural, as I've done two or three in my life, as I've explained. One I've done with Turkey's Truck. His father had a fruit truck, 68th Street, First Avenue. I did that legally. That's when I met Crook. I've done Sweet Chicks out in Brooklyn. John Seymour owns the place. It's like a chicken and waffles joint. Good food. I don't know all of that. Like, he grew up in this neighborhood. He's like family. And then I did that wall with Saint, Psy, me, and Hoax. Yeah, right, Hoax. Or Hocus. I keep forgetting that. It's good graffiti. I like it. I just, yeah. That's the only things I've done legally that I can remember. And a lot of walls people didn't give a fuck about. A lot of shit I made look like it was legal. But yeah, that would be it. And it's just like I said with selling art early on, even in the 90s and stuff like that. Yeah, that trend kept going. But if you even look at Style Wars, there's a scene where they're selling their artwork and people from Europe are buying it. And I kill you, man. Remember that? The old lady? Patty Asher's there. It's the only time Tracy's in that whole video. Like the art gallery scene. I got the picture of Deborah Harry. It's split in half, one side of her face and the other. Style Wars. So yeah, I mean, it's been around. Dondi and them have been going all over the place early on. Delta, Delta 2. Those guys, yeah, they were doing stuff, traveling around, plugged into the gallery scene. So that's before any of that shit. Uh, that's when I was like just running around doing insides and stuff. Well, not the Dondi shit, but when Delta was out, he was in junior high school with well, I was in junior high school, the same junior high school. Yeah. PS 167 WAG. So yeah, he was young, he was out there. But when you really think about it, it's like the murals and the stuff that you're seeing are replicas of graffiti. So it's like a menage as to the graffiti culture. Would that be it? But it's not the graffiti culture. It's mimicking the graffiti culture. It's to big up the graffiti culture, I guess. But that's like doing technical pieces and pretty pieces and street art and stuff like that. That's not like doing run around doing a bunch of fucking villains, which I don't really like doing those either, but like tags and stuff like that. Yeah, like out there getting your name up, it's a different game, different animal altogether. Not too much technical shit about that. Yeah. Another thing, anti-style with Wombat. Oh, what are you guys, Wombat this, Wombat that? Like every time I go live, and like I've said, I don't believe that's anti-style. I just believe it's style that sucks. If you really think about that Wombat, if you think of like 1974, 76, around that area, that shit would fit right in, that Wombat. But in today's day and age, and it's garbage. It's not that it's an anti-style, because if you think about it, if anyone, it's almost like forensically proven. Like at one point, I do remember they were trying to use forensic scientists to study the handwriting of graffiti writers and get them saying, yeah, they did that because of the handwriting. I remember they tried that with FEC, TFV. I think somewhere along the line they squeezed out the fact that you're not writing like this. You're writing like this. You get me? So it's not like proven. It's been failed. Like I don't think they could use it. I believe with Feck's case they weren't able to use it. I don't know where I was going with all that. I would have to rewind and see. But as far as it goes with the whole graffiti scene that you guys call the culture, I don't think that's actually saving it or preserving it. That's just slowly but surely the real graffiti culture is being picked away and picked away and picked away and turned into what it's turned into. And that's what I believe. It's like a ball that's rolling downhill, but it's not like picking up snow and getting bigger. It's actually getting worn down and getting smaller. It's getting worn down to a little nub. And in the next 20, 30 years, the shit that you guys are going to be saying was the culture and the whole thing has really got nothing to do with what was going on out there as far as it goes with the graffiti world. That's happened with many things. Like I was just watching it to get off topic, but it's kind of on topic. Harley Davidson. Now they're saying that,